It's great to have you back on the podcast. How you doing?
Yo, what's up, man? I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me back. It's been a minute.
Yeah. No, you're welcome. It's always great to connect with you, and like time flies as we were saying, and I think like last time we spoke was it before summer? I think last year probably or something like that. I'll have to check, but
Yeah, it was like half a year, right?
yeah,
But it feels like about a month, right?
yeah, that's it. It does go quick, and I really like the content you put out, and I just want to say I'm really grateful for the help that you've given me in the soundtrack for the podcast, and letting me use your content. I really appreciate that, and I'm really blessed to have you as a friend, and really means a lot.
Me too, bro. It's honestly an honor for me. It really is.
No, you're welcome, and I really appreciate it. And I think that's something that stands out, with people and the people you surround yourself with and the people you talk to. I think that's something that I found is important. That what you give out, what you get back, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's actually something that I've recently realized in my music that has, I feel like, finally helped me elevate to the next stage. It's like since I started, I started making music with a computer so that I wouldn't have to rely on other band members. Like I was like, fuck it, I don't want the drummer's late. Oh, there's no show. Like, oh, fuck it, I don't need a drummer. I don't need a guitarist. I just need me. And I thought I could do good like that. And now what I've realized is you need other people in order to create greatness. You need to open up, and you cannot create anything that is amazing by yourself. Like I was watching videos of Travis Scott, probably, right? Of course.
Yeah, Travis Scott.
Yeah. So like if you just look at videos of him in the studio, there's like 15 people in the studio and everyone is vibing. And it's like, if you make music to where the 15 people in the room are all dancing, that means that the next 15 people in the next room are going to dance, and the next 15 and and if it's just you, then like, good luck, because you're never going to know. You're never going to have anybody to kind of vet you. Yeah, man. So that's just been a whole, like, just basically dropping my ego, just allowing my ego to just kind of go to the side and realizing that I can't do it all by myself. It's been a huge, like a breakthrough for me, honestly.
Yeah, that's it. And I think a lot of the time we try and do it by ourselves. And I think to some point, yes, it has to come from you and you have to put in that work ultimately. But like you said, it's that other people's opinions and other people's support and their view on it and their perspective helps you to kind of mold what you're doing, because in your mind, you've got what you're doing or how you think about it, and you can send it to somebody and they could say, oh, well, I quite like it, but, perhaps try this, or, and you see that reaction from the other people. And I think that's so like key and important, as you said. And that's something I think I can relate to, doing these kind of things like podcasts and putting out content. It's me doing it. I do all the networking and everything else. But ultimately, if I don't have people supporting me, if I don't have their, reaction or feedback, how the hell am I going to know or progress? And that's, probably like the same for you as well.
Yeah. It's like the old story of the comedian, that he goes on the stage and then he says a joke and there's silence. And then he says another joke and then there's silence. And then he gets mad and he says, you know what? You guys are all fucking twats and you don't get my jokes. It's your fault. No, it's not. You're just not funny. You're just not funny. You feel me? You're just not funny. Like, that's it. And if no one's laughing, that means your jokes suck. And that's so hard for us to accept, that maybe our jokes suck, maybe my music sucks, maybe your podcast sucks, like maybe all of us suck. And it's just, that's the only way to be able to kind of double back and accept that and say, you know what, I'm actually going to try to fix that. This thing that I thought that was perfect, this baby, my baby, I'm gonna accept that I can fix it, and I can kind of, go back on my word and like rewrite a lyric or, redo something.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me any less of a person, any less of a man, any less of an individual, of a creator, anything. It's kind of just letting, man, I feel like it all just comes back to ego, really. Like, it's just, the more ego you have, the less business you can have. I feel like, honestly, like the less scalable your business is, because, like, as humans, like we live in a community, you know, we live in a society, we live together. And if everything that you're making isn't geared towards a community, like how are you going to grow? Like, are you going to fund yourself? You're going to pay yourself? Like, what the fuck is that? Some weird self-feedback cycle that, like, you know, we're trying to grow, and growth means others.
Yeah.
So others means let go of the ego.
Yeah.
And then it's hard though. It's really hard. These things are super hard for me and for everyone.
I think that is something that, you know, I can definitely relate to. And I think, you know, we've all got an ego, and I think it's that balance in between, you know, once you're aware of what your ego is and, you know, how your ego comes out, then you can kind of start to control it more. And I think, like you said, people need to see you, that genuine part of you, for who you are. And when you let go of that ego, you're more like natural, I think, probably in what you're doing. And people, do you know what I mean? They can see between the lines. And I think, like, you know, like you said, with you know, music or content or podcast, whatever that is, you know, you by accepting, okay, I need to improve on that, or yes, it is me, then that's kind of where you grow, I think. Like you said, you know, with the comedian, you know, there's a guy called Joey Diaz. I think you've probably seen him before. He's a comedian and he's got a podcast. And he said, you know, people say, I'm going to be a comedian, I'm going to be a stand-up, and I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And he said, you know, you're going up there to bomb. You're going up there to fail first time round. He said, come back to me in 6 months and tell me you're still doing it. You know, and he said, you know, it's that learning process. You know, it's how you grow. Sometimes you have to go through those pitfalls and, address where you're at. Because I think unless you're not addressing where you're at or improving, then you're going to stay in that same place, isn't it? So, I mean, I think with what, you know, the kind of what you do and what I do, there's a lot of self-awareness there, because you have to kind of sometimes look and be like, okay, what can I do next or whatever?
Yeah. It's so true, man. It's so brutal too, you know. It's just like we want all these things and we have all these crazy dreams, you know, like, right, me and you, we both fuck with Gary Vee, and just looking at all these crazy people and just being like, you know what, I'm ready for it, let's go. And then it doesn't happen, and then, you know, the next day it doesn't happen, and the next week it doesn't happen, and the next month it doesn't happen, and the next year it won't happen, and no one knows when the fuck it happens. And you know what, the even the worst part of that, or better, I don't know if it's worse or better, but when it happens, it will never happen like we want it to, and never happen like we expect it to. And it's always going to be like this weird, like, I guess like right now, like, I'm making money as a music producer, and I didn't think it would look like this. Like, I didn't think it would, I thought it would be like, I don't know, working, like having a studio, and all my work is through Google Drive. I work online. Like, I end up teaching a lot of people things. Like, a lot of artists, like, they won't know how to record, so I'll end up teaching them, like, just doing, like, and I don't charge for like 2-hour video call to teach you how to record. But I never would have thought that would, but that's what, you know, based on my personality, because I'm a teacher, I can teach, and kind of that's where you kind of find yourself. So I guess, yeah, it's like a combination of I guess what you want, and I guess maybe where you're meant to go. You know, it kind of reminds me of like you know who Little Durk is? Lil Durk?
I've heard his name.
Yeah, he you probably heard him on he just dropped a song with Drake a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I did hear that, actually.
Yeah, with that beat that goes like da da da.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge hit. So anyways, him he like came up off making like real street music, you know, like very, very violent. And then he kind of he dropped a tape that was like it was a lot softer. Like, he had an album he dropped a while back, and it was much softer, it was much more emotional, and people ragged on him. So it's interesting because people were telling him from one side, you're always making the same type of songs, you know, change up your style. And then when he changed up his style, his reviews tanked.
Really?
So yeah, and I'm saying that to say, you know, in this life, you got to realize what's demanded of you, what people want you to fill, what role people want you to fill. It's kind of like your destiny, you know, kind of like he's destined to make hard street shit. When he makes hard street shit, he debuts at number 1. When he makes soft shit, he doesn't Billboard. So there you go. There you go. And it's like, what if he wants to become an R&B singer? You know, Yeah, you know, and
Well, well, this is it. This is it. I mean, this is the thing. Like, people sometimes they'll be posting certain content. It's like, I don't know, for example, like you said, somebody doing hardcore rap, kind of hardcore music, but they might deep down have an interest for R&B, and they do something different because their audience likes that hardcore rap stuff. But in his heart, he might have more passion for, I don't know, R&B or something else. And when he does put that out, people like, hang on a sec, what's going on here? But
yeah,
like deep down,
where's the Adam that I signed up for? Like, why are you switching up on
yeah,
me? Like,
yeah,
who are you? So it's
it's
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
yeah, that's it. And it's something like, I do my podcast and I have a lot of different guests on, as you know, and sometimes I've been communicating with certain guests and networking, and deep down it's my kind of curiosity, my kind of passion and interest. And then on the for the podcast, I have them on, and then part of me is like, does it go with my brand? Are my audience going to like it? If I do something different, I have a different certain type of guest on my show, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's that kind of like you're split between these two sides. I mean, a podcast is a podcast, and you can talk about anything, and you can have anybody on. But it's like, do I take that risk and have something that's different from my brand, or different, but in your heart,
because I mean, if someone's watching right now and I say some shit that they don't like, they might get offended and they might unfollow you.
Yeah.
If I say some like crazy political shit or like just say like some stupid ass, like some dumbass sentence,
yeah,
someone can just, they're just like, okay, well, fuck Adam, fuck Guyku, these guys are idiots and I will never follow any of you guys again. And you maybe even block us, just in a second. So yeah, you gotta be
really careful. Yeah. I think that's one of the things in this world that we live in now, isn't it? Like, you can say one word, you can do one thing, and that can like change a whole another. Yeah.
Cancel culture, man. We got cancel culture today, don't we? We got cancel culture.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but I think ultimately, like, you gotta do what you love, haven't you? And follow that. And the people who see your vision and what you're doing will support you, whatever that is.
Yeah, it actually, that brings me back to like what you said a second ago. It's pretty interesting because when you were saying would letting this certain person on my podcast, would my audience like it? And then I was thinking, one way of looking at it is kind of being like business and transactional and saying, does this fit my brand? But like, what does brand really mean? Like, I think that in the end of the day, your audience can be, it's me and anybody else watching this right now. And at the end of the day, saying, does this fit my brand is the same thing as saying, would my friends like this? It's like if I show you something and I know, like, I know you like dubstep. I know you like certain things. I know you have this certain sense of humor. So I'm going to show you something that fits your sense of humor. Like, I wouldn't send you something funny, like some American humor, like violent humor, or like, I know that that's not like part of your world. So like me sending that to you is kind of inconsiderate of me, like, it's like not even, taking it off of like, it's on brand, off brand. I'm talking about on an empathy, like a human empathy. Like, it's, I think, especially at our stage, we're much smaller businesses, and it really just comes down to, our fans and like these people that we're building the core fan base with. It's one-on-one, it's manual. We don't have thousands of dollars to run Facebook ads and automate the process. So it's really just understanding who these people are, like who you are, who I am, what are our dreams, and kind of trying to speak to that. And it's like, like, why would I put something that like deters you from your dream if I know that you follow me? Because we're a team. If you make it, I make it, right? You're part of Guyku. We're family. So it's like it's interesting because it's like these like very, very basic concepts of like human empathy and listening and giving a fuck and not being transactional. Like, they're the same thing that will lead to $1 billion enterprise. You know, the smallest type. Because, you know, if no one trusts you, how the fuck are they ever going to give you their money? Like, ever, right? If not, just report you even. Like, just being a human, it's so crazy to try to, you know, to say, yeah, we need to be empathetic and human in this world where, you know, we're barraged by content all day, every day. So you got to stand out. Right? How do you stand out and stand in? How do you listen and be empathetic, but also be different and branded? Like, yeah, man, it's crazy. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's a paradox. But I mean, shit, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, it's that whole thing with algorithms and, you know, like I think if it was easy and you could post something and get what you wanted straight away, I don't think we would appreciate it the same. Do you know what I mean? Like if we could put something out there and it just goes, and then we put something else out there and it goes, you wouldn't appreciate it as much. Just like if I post some, like I don't post anything at all for likes or to gain anything. I post it because I love this. I love communicating with you, and you know, you know what I mean. That isn't my driving force. If something gets 50 likes, it gets 50 likes. If it gets 20, it gets 20. Like, you know, it's about who likes it rather than how many I get. And I think that's where, you know, people like need to be humble. And like you said, there's a lot of things with, you know, empathy and listening and, you know, these core qualities and skills as a person that are heavily important. And like you said, if you're trying to do business with somebody and you're not listening, you haven't got any empathy, and it's just so transactional. You know, like you said, how are you going to make that step? Yeah,
it's nasty. You know, we all deal with it, bro. Like, I'm sure you get all these fucking DMs of people like, hey, I do graphic work, right? Like on Instagram, the graphic
on
people,
LinkedIn,
like
on LinkedIn a lot, yeah.
Oh my God, they're like, they all need to just be fucking smited, just smite them all. Like what? Like how? Man, yesterday I was looking at my friend's post and some dude he literally wrote, "Hey, what's up? I'm an upcoming rapper. Please check out my music." On a comment on my friend's post where he's just like, bro, like spamming yourself. It's kind of like two people talking and then you just going, "Hey, what's up? I make music," like in the middle of their conversation. Like, how the fuck are they not gonna hate you?
Yeah.
You know, like I reported him. It's not even on my post, and I reported him because I don't like that shit. It's just so like, it's like, bro, and you know, it's crazy because I find myself trying to overanalyze and, you know, tell myself, how do I quantify these things? You know, let's say, you know, I'm ethical, I'm tactful, I listen, I give good service. You know, when I'm doing mixing, mastering, when I'm producing for artists, I communicate, I do that. Where's the dollar signs? You know, where's the dollar signs? When does it turn into success? And that's the thing is that I actually saw this cool little YouTube documentary about Britain's cycling team. How you guys had only one gold medal in like 10 years, and then they switched the trainer, and the trainer he had this theory of I don't remember what exactly it was. It was basically like it was like if you get better in 1% here and then 1% there and 1% there, overall it leads to a big change. Yeah, exactly. But in like waking life. So like, what did that mean? He took all the players. Okay, he took all the bicycle team. He would take them to stores for like pillows. He would take this new trainer. He would take the team and he would take them to stores where you can buy like you know, bed sheets and pillows, and he would find out which pillow is the most comfortable for each player. Why? Because making their sleep better, right? Making them sleep better is 1% difference. Which bike seat is the most comfortable? That's a 1% difference. Which tires does he prefer? That's a 1% difference. Which color? How many hours of sleep? When should he go to sleep? What should he eat? All these tiny, tiny, tiny details. And I'm sure you know, right? The British cycling team has won the past 3 championships. Like, so, and they won an Olympic gold medal. So 1% and 1% add up. 1%, 1%, 1% add up. Like, you know, I think it's is because we live in this world of instant gratification, you know, where it's like, buy now, pay now, get now, and it's not now. Like you know, get your better pillow so you can sleep better, so that you can be nicer to the person that you talk to after you wake up, so that in 2 years they'll come back to you. Like, it's just these tiny details, and that's the way life really works. You know, it's like a tree. You know, a tree grows in 30 years, and we want to grow a tree in half an hour, in a day, in a month. Even in a year is not even realistic. No trees grow in a year. Like a big strong tree, you know, and we're part of nature. And I think that I think it happens to our psychology because of the social media, because of the way that it, you know, all these things like engagement, all these numbers that like you know Facebook got sued for $700 million for inflating engagement rates, right?
I saw something. I did see an article. I didn't look too much into it. Is that what it was?
Yeah, bro. Everything that they show you, like impressions and views, all that is bullshit. The only thing that actually matters is conversions, clicks. How many actual clicks? All the rest of it, views, impressions, all of those stats that they show you for engagement, it's all fake. It's all they inflate these things just to make us, you know, kind of, I mean, to make us spend money on their advertising platforms. But it's not really how this shit works. It's not.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, I saw that documentary, Social Dilemma, and they talked about Facebook quite a lot, and they talked about Facebook quite a lot.
Beautiful animal.
Yeah, he's lovely. He's a dachshund cross Jack Russell. He's like quarter or third. It's a mix.
But beautiful, man.
No, cheers, man.
He's just giving you kisses.
Yeah, and they talked about how Facebook, you know, like kind of manipulate things and things like that. I mean, that's a whole nother like conversation. But I mean, with that thing with compound interest, you know, like I said, that 1%, those small differences of, you know, the cyclists and that, you know, the little tiny things people don't even think about. You know, the color of their bike, their seats, their pillow, and all of these things add up, don't they? And all of these things have an effect. And it all kind of makes sense. And I think you can apply that to anything. And I definitely learned about that last year because I've got a good friend called Don, and Don Sevcik, and he's a owner of this math website. So he knows a lot of these kind of like, you know, 1% rules. And I applied it to working out and, you know, just doing press ups because we know at home I can't really go to the gym. Yeah. And, you know, I started off doing like, say, 20 a day, you know, just build it up 1%. And, you know, I do it for myself. I've got nothing to prove to anyone else. Do you know what I mean? But just building on that 1%, you know, the next week add 5, the next week add, you know, and these small differences all just add up. And like you said, it ties into that, you know, those guys on the bikes, those 1%, all these 1% in everything we do. And a lot of people want it now, as you said, because of social media, the internet. I mean, I sell things on eBay, and sometimes people message me like, "Have you posted it yet?" But, you know, like the same day sometimes, and I'm like, because I sell things on eBay sometimes, like, you know, items that I sell.
Yeah, but what do they want you to post?
Like, it could be like a T-shirt of mine that I'm selling that I don't wear anymore, and they're like, "Have you posted it yet?" And I'm like, this is like a day later, or like
have you shipped it? Okay, yeah, sorry, I forgot that. Yeah. Post, yeah, British English, my bad. Yeah, have you sent it? Okay, word. Yeah, like post, because I'm thinking post, Instagram post, and that.
Right. Yeah, no, like rubbish and trash and that kind of thing. But yeah, they're like, have you posted it yet? And I'm like, I'm not Amazon Prime. Like, people just want it now. I'm like, and it's addictive, and we all have our own ways. But I think that delayed gratification and working towards something and then achieving it is far more greater than just getting it straight away all the time. It wears off, and then you want it again.
That's so true, man. That's so true, and it's crazy that people are hounding you like that. But I mean, shit. You know, it's the hardest part is to realize is that on top of all of that, nothing is personal. You know, that person that can that person that's sending you messages and going, hey, yo, I paid you 23 hours ago. Why the fuck isn't it on the way? You know, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. They're just, you know, they haven't gone outside in 2 weeks. You know, they're probably gained a little bit of weight. They're maybe not feeling, you know, they're maybe having a shitty day. You know,
you
whatever.
don't know.
Yeah, and then they write these type of messages, you know. And that's also like a huge part of this of the world that we live in now. You know, our identity, we base our identity on the way that we exist on these platforms. You know, so if someone writes to me like, Guyku, your music is horrible, stop making music, I like for a second in my head I'm like, are they right? Like, is this dude right? Like, should I just quit? And then you just got to realize, like, every single person in the world is going through the exact same process that we are. That 1% also applies to self-esteem, also applies to self-confidence and self-love. And it's just so fucking ridiculous just to understand how complicated this world really is. And that's the only reason why, you know, in Hebrew, there's a beautiful saying. It's Ma'im shketim zormim amok. It means quiet waters run deep. So you see, it's the quietest waters, they run the deepest. Those people that are talking all the time and that are, you know, wanting everything now, it's like easy come, easy go. You know, those people that the 1%, like, you're not going to say shit to anybody. A year from now, you're going to be doing 200 push-ups and you're going to be looking fucking great. And you didn't say, hey world, I'm going to do that. You slowly grew your tree and now you have a tree. And it's just so crazy to just let go of this desire for validation. Like, I've been making music since 2007. You know, I'm like, when the fuck am I gonna have, you know, more than 100 streams on a song? And I'm like pushing the song. I get 100 streams. I see other music artists drop it and say, we're at 100K and it's under a week since I dropped the song. What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? When is my turn? But then it's like, no. Yeah. He is a totally different person. I'm a totally different person. We are not going in the same direction. And if I look at his, you know, he's at 57%. I'm still at 1.43%. Like, I still got to focus on my 1%, build my own tree. Build my own tree. It's crazy.
I love that. I love, you know, everything you said then. And I agree. And I think that's something that is so true. And I think so little people think about it unless they're in that place. Do you know what I mean? You know, like ourselves. And I saw that today. With go down. Okay. I saw that today. Some guy posted on his Instagram, "Oh, I've had 3,000 downloads in the past however many days on his podcast," and I was like, "Oh, snap!
Why did I have 3,000 downloads on my fucking podcast? I listen more than him. I'm more empathetic than him. This douchebag doesn't even care half the amount that I care.
Yeah, and all that.
That will depress you. That will destroy you.
So what I did was I felt a bit deflated, and then, you know, like, ultimately I think we can sometimes compare ourselves, you know, as people to other people. It's like, you know, society, you see what happens in society. But what I did was I flipped it around and I was like, you know what? It's not about how many people you get, it's about who listens. Like, out of those 3,000 people, you know, and then compared to me, I'm not in competition with anyone but myself, but I just thought of it like I could get 50 listens and it's who those listeners are. It doesn't matter about numbers. You know, out of that 3,000, 5 of them could be, do you know what I mean? Certain kinds of people, or, you know, it's about who.
You know where the line gets blurred though? You know where the line gets blurred is because of money. Because on one side, you know, you're right. And, you know, let's say he has 3,000 downloads, but people are doing it just because, you know, he asked them, or, you know, because they think he's cool, but no one actually takes his words to heart and no one actually changes their life because of him. And then you manage to change 2 people's lives. Okay. I mean, you're right, but he can pay rent and you can't. So you see, so it is a, like, when you say like, I'm competing only with myself, it's true in the spiritual sense, but money, it is a competition. You know, like when you Google search rap producers, I'm competing with millions. When I search, I don't know, like if I search like podcasts, like there's billions, like, so we're in a competition with ourselves, but also if you want to monetize, you are very much in competition with others.
Yeah, that's it.
Also.
That's it. That's something I've been looking at doing. Like I'm learning how to monetize it, what I need to do, and there's different areas you can monetize a podcast. There's like affiliate programs, there's CPM, all these different areas, and some of it is based on your downloads. And the way I see it is like it's a bit like the stock market. It's not always here. It's like a zigzag. It's not meant to stay the same. And it's like if people say, "Oh, I've got a number one best-selling podcast," it's like, yeah, give it a month. So
someone else is going to be number one.
Yeah, and it's like best-selling books and this kind of thing. It's like, yeah, there's going to be someone else out there who's going to have it as well. And I think it can be a hard pill to swallow, but I think that's something that you just got to accept. And it's like that kind of motivation and driving force that kind of keeps you going to, probably try and reach that level or to keep on, to. I think I don't think this the thing where people got it mixed up. It's that process and that journey, isn't it? It's not just like I'm going to reach the top and that's it, because it's all those pitfalls in between that make you appreciate that journey to get into that place. It's like when when you're doing your music now, like you're doing your music now, and then in the future, when it does massively blow up, you're going to appreciate it because of that journey and that process. And I don't think
such a long process. Oh my God, Jesus fuck.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
But you're passionate about it, and I think if you wasn't passionate about it, you would have stopped by now.
Yeah, I would be making music even if I was. I feel like if I had decided to say fuck it and like just study like computers and just get an office job, I would still be making music, and I feel like it would bother me. Yeah. Like what if I could become like my dream. It's just I have this dream. It's just I've seen it, and I know it's real. I know other people can do it, so I know I can do it. And it's when you're standing on the stage and you're singing your song, and then you can just put down the microphone and the audience just keeps singing your song. That's it. Like that's my. I cry when I see like YouTube videos of other artists when that happens to them, and I see how it humbles them. They just put their head down, and it's just like, oh my God, like I've really touched all these lives. Like if someone knows your lyrics by heart, that's like a podcast download to me. You feel me? That's like you're living my fucking music now. Like my music is your music. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
I definitely experienced that when have you ever heard of an artist called Passenger?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
That guy with the guitar, just the acoustic.
Only know you love her when you let her go.
Yeah. I saw him live in Plymouth. You know Plymouth. You got a friend in Plymouth.
Yeah, Punchy Plymouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. The muff.
Yeah.
Down in the muff.
Yeah.
Down to road.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I went to see him in Plymouth live with one of my ex-girlfriends a while back, and he towards the end he finished his song, and when he went off stage, everyone was singing his music, and he came back on stage for like another 2 songs.
Oh fuck!
And it was incredible.
I just gotta chill when you said that. Like I really just want to cry right now. Like that's fucking ridiculous, bro. That's what the fuck. Yeah, that's power. That's real power in this life. Like that's the most we can ask for. Yeah, to touch a fucking soul, bro. To touch a fucking soul. That's crazy. Like I'll remember that song forever. I'm gonna remember until the day I die. I'm gonna remember the words to that whole song because it's just true. You only hate the road when you're missing home, and you only know you love her when you're letting go. It's fucking true. Like man.
He said he wrote that song in the space of a couple of hours.
I think he said like that. I always see that the artist breakout hit is always they like half-ass it. They're just like, oh yeah, this is like I just needed to get this off my chest. And like, that's the one that goes off because it's fucking real. Because you feel his pain, you know, and he says like, staring at the ceiling in the dark, same old empty feeling in your heart because you love too fast and you dive too deep. What the fuck? Bro, I want to cry just from saying that. What the fuck? Like, what are you? Are you a godly poet? Like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's definitely deep.
You have to be so good. You have to be so good.
I think sometimes when you're in certain times in your life, isn't it? You know, you like your music. You put your emotions into your music, and I always hear that song if I ever break up with like a girl. It always comes on in the car, or I end up hearing it, and it just, I'm like, why is this happening?
God damn it! You're like, why is this happening? But also, you're so happy that it happens, right? Because you feel alive.
Yeah.
You're like, this. I feel like my heart hurts and I'm fucking crying. But this is what it feels like to be a human, And I would rather feel all this pain and know that I'm alive rather than to be numb and not really live.
Yeah. That's definitely it. And I think that's what I was talking about with someone the other day. Like your emotions and how your your emotions guide you. Because I had this lady on the podcast, and she's an empath and she's a coach and stuff like that, and she's written a book. And I was saying, life doesn't kind of give you a script of how, there you go, here's how you live it. But she said, it kind of does, because your emotions kind of guide you, like your compass in your life.
I mean, I'm also gonna just be the devil's advocate to that though, and just tell you, bro, like, what if I say some shit to piss you off? Does that mean that you should say something mean that you're gonna regret? Because that's what your emotion tells you.
I think, I mean, sometimes people react, don't they? I think people's emotions can influence how people feel and what people do. And I definitely have done things out of emotion and reacted out of emotion or said things. It kind of puts that kind of emphasis on whatever you're thinking or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of people nowadays, they don't feel, that feeling is uncomfortable. A lot of people are trying to distract themselves and not feel about certain things, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No. Actually, I feel like you just hit that spot on. I haven't really thought about that. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, is that what scrolling through Instagram is? It really numbs us, doesn't it? It numbs us. Like just binging Netflix numbs us. Binging Instagram numbs us. All these like spending time with technology, I think, immersing our consciousness with technology numbs us.
Yeah.
Because life fucking sucks. Life is so hard. Someone can shit all over your heart. And like, why should I think about why she broke up with me? Maybe because I didn't listen to her. Or I could just scroll Instagram for 4 hours and feel nothing. So I'm just gonna fucking go like this a bunch, and then I'm not thinking about her anymore. Let me just drink something. Let me smoke a little bit. Let me just escape. Let me escape.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but then what's the problem with that is that at the end of the day we're all alone, and it makes this bitterness in our soul.
Yeah. No, I definitely I agree, and I think that's something that I think it's dangerous when people aren't aware of that. And I think we will have those times. We've all been in certain places in our lives. I think sometimes we will be, and I think it's how you deal with that, isn't it? And people sometimes probably play video games too much, or drink too much. Whatever it is. I mean,
it's escaping. It's escaping from reality.
It's that fine balance, isn't it? It's that fine balance of kind of dealing with it. Like there's nothing wrong with doing certain things. It's just like if you're doing it too much, then there might be something underlying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that's crazy. It's I'm studying a degree in philosophy, and it's funny because everything that you're saying. So basically, what you said is that everything needs to be mediation, right? And there was Aristotle is the man who actually phrased that. And he was alive thousands of years ago. And he said everything needs to be done in mediation. You need to get mad, but not too mad. You need to be sad, but not too sad. You need to eat, but not too much. You need to drink, not too much. Everything, not too much. And this is thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
You see, so it's just really just, I feel like we're all just going through the same, I don't know, man. Maybe it's because I ate acid when I was a kid and I like, observe the world in this way. It like changed my mentality of like, but I just really enjoy the universality of it. Of like really just, how, you know, you and your whole story and where you're from and me and my whole story, where we're from, it is ultimately the same. We're both trying to live with balance. And we're trying to live in a way that when our time is done on this earth, that we can leave gracefully and maybe leave a legacy. And that's it. You know, you can't, what else? Like, what else? You know, take care of your kids and that's it. Like, there's nothing like, yeah, you want to be a podcaster. I want to be a producer. Okay. But we still, like, both of us going to get mad. Both of us going to get sad. Both of us going to have our hearts broken. We're going to lose our parents at one stage. You know, I mean, knock on wood, like, may they have long lives and health, but it's life, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's like, that's the thing is like, the more that you're developed as a human, then the more you can develop as a business because it's a personal business. It's you are the business. It's intense. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
it's
it's definitely, it is deep and intense. I think like a lot of people don't think about these things. And I think it's so important to think about it and to go to that place. And it shows that depth, you know, your depth as a human being, that you're able to look at, you know, things that are sometimes bigger than ourselves, if that makes sense. And to accept these,
perfect sense.
To accept these things and to go, okay, yeah, I'm willing to, you know, go with this. And, you know, it's a bit like when you think sometimes at night, I'll look outside and I look at you know, the stars, and I'm like, damn, like, and then my mind just wanders in a completely different direction. And I think some people like to, I mean, whatever makes someone happy, or if they want to think somewhere, that's fine. But I think some people stay in that box way of thinking because it's too uncomfortable to think of the unknown.
Scary. It's scary. Bro, we're going to die. And we are so small. And these are things that they're so scary to us because of the world of right now and buy now and pay now and all these things, you know, it makes you so big. It's like, I can tell you, hey bro, like pay me $20. I'll get you exposed to 1 million podcast listeners. You're like a god amongst men. No, you're not. You're small. You're going to die. You're going to, you know, you're going to just deteriorate. And all of us, bro, it's all of us. And it's really interesting what you said, how you said about remembering that, you know, it's part of something bigger. I think that's the biggest part. Because if you can move as a business while remembering that you're part of something bigger, as in like the world or, you know, just the bigger economy, I think that's where wisdom comes from. Because whoever acts like they're the only one, they have no chance. Because who the fuck are you anyways? You know, like who are you? Like who has the nerve to act as if they're something new? Like you're not new, you know, you're not like that. That it happens to a lot of rappers when they don't show respect for the older generation. It's like, how do you think that you can take something without, like, you're standing on the shoulders of giants?
Yeah.
You know, and we always have to be aware of that.
Yeah.
And we that's why humility, man. That's why I think that's why Kendrick Lamar's song, you know, bitch, sit down, be humble.
Yeah.
That's why it resonates with us, because it's just,
it's
we
so real.
all know we know it's fucking true. We know we need to sit down and be humble, because before we know it, me and you are going to be having a podcast and we're both going to be 70 and it's going to be like, damn, that was quick. That was quick, bro. Remember when we were in our 20s and we were like trying to start our shit? Like now we're about to die. Like we have grandchildren now, and like that's tomorrow. Like that's how it happens. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, man.
It's definitely something, isn't it? And I think it's being humble, and like you said, you know, what is your legacy? And I did a podcast with a guy, and he was saying, like, you know, in a way, he said he likes to kind of make people feel uncomfortable because he likes to ask them these uncomfortable questions, like, you know, where's your list? You know, what path are you on? And he says, you know, a lot of people don't know what their list is or what their path is.
Because they're scared. Because it's so scary. It's so scary to say. Like, what's your path, bro? Like, what's your path for real?
For me,
yeah. What's your life like? What's your biggest dream? Like, I know. You know, we don't fuck with shortcuts in that. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, if you could, what's your like? You know, my goal, like I told you, I want to stand on stage and hundreds of people sing my lyrics to me. That's very definite. Like, what do you want? I'm just asking you. I wonder.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I want to have, you know, a massive impact, you know, on other people's, you know, lives like yourself, and, you know, to one day, you know, be on that stage, you know, kind of giving advice and, you know, sharing my story and trying to provide value, you know, and, you know, to continue on the podcast and just see where that kind of, you know, that personal development kind of field goes, you know, just
That's a
try,
humble dream.
you know, yeah. And
nice.
Like you said, if you can just make a difference to one person's life through, you know, what you're doing, you know, that makes me happy, you know, by doing this kind of content. If someone can, if one person can watch or relate to this or listen to this, take something from it, that makes me happy, you know. And I'm sure you feel the same as well.
Yeah, it's the 1%. That one person is the 1%, and that's what really matters.
That's it. And that one person could tell one other person, and that one other person tells one other person, and it just kind of ripples like that.
Yeah, man. I feel like that about wraps it up.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I'm also gonna help. I want my fiance to have all the work. You know, it's the Sabbath on Friday. We do Shabbat. I gotta.
Nice.
You know, I was. I think. Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure God gave me her, bro, because just I don't even know, man. She just humbles me, bro. So I just don't want to let her cook by herself. You know.
No, it's
let
cool.
your woman cook by herself.
Yeah, I love that, and I think you know, I support you in all that you're doing, and I think, you know, you're doing amazing work, and, you know, I'm grateful, so grateful to be your friend, and, you know, I look forward to the day where, you know, we can meet in person and you know, we can vibe.
Have a fucking lager.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
A pint and a packet of crisps.
Oh my God. I'm waiting, man. I'm excited, man. One day.
Yeah. We could do this in person as well.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. But no, you take where can we find you on social media as well, and your music and things like that?
All right. Well, so my name is Guyku. It's Guyku. Guyku Music on all social media platforms, on Spotify, Apple Music, and all of them. I make spiritual trap music. It's what I define it as. Basically, I do, you know, I'm spiritual. I like self-consciousness, but I also like to get down and dirty. So if you like that, check me out.
Yeah. No, awesome, man. And yeah, I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to the next time.
All right, bro.